ever worked so hard toward a goal, checking the boxes, pushing yourself, only to end up feeling drained or stressed or like you've somehow fallen short? What if I told you it might not be you? It might actually be that your goals are working against you. We all love setting goals. They give us direction, they can help us measure progress, and they can inspire us to keep moving forward. And research backs this up. People who set clear goals are consistently more motivated, more focused, and more successful. But here's the twist: some of the goals we chase aren't really ours at all. They're borrowed from what society tells us we should want. We're influenced by family, peers, or even our own insecurities. When that happens, these goals pull us away from what really matters, leaving us feeling frustrated instead of fulfilled. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to figure out where your goals are coming from, how to know if they're aligned with your priorities, and how to make sure the goals you set are working for you and not against you. Goals are powerful, but sometimes the goals we set don't actually belong to us. They might look good, they might even sound impressive when we say them aloud, but deep down, they're not aligned with who we are or what we truly want. And it's no wonder. We're constantly being influenced by society, social media, family expectations, and even workplace culture. Everywhere we turn, there's some signal telling us what we should want. Think about it. How many times have you been scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and seen an influencer jetting off to Greece? Suddenly you think, wow, I need to save for that kind of trip too, even though you've never cared about visiting Greece before. In fact, your dream trip has always been Nantucket. But now Nantucket feels small, even ordinary, and you convince yourself that bigger must be better. Or maybe it's something more personal. You see an old classmate land a big promotion. Before you know it, you're chasing a title at work that you didn't even know that you wanted. You're working longer hours and sacrificing your well being, all because you felt like you should. Here's another example. A friend raves about the newest wellness trend. Maybe it's intermittent fasting, cold plunges, or even marathon training. Suddenly, you're convinced that's your next big goal, but it doesn't even fit your lifestyle, interests, or energy. You just felt pulled into doing it because everyone else was doing it. Or it can even show up with money and lifestyle. You see a coworker pull into the parking lot with a brand new luxury car, and you feel the sudden pressure to upgrade too. But if you're honest, a fancy car doesn't really matter to you. What would bring you peace is your reliable car, lower bills, and more freedom in your monthly budget. But outside influence tricks you into believing upgrading is the goal that you should chase. Do you see the pattern? These are all goals that sneak in from the outside. They weren't yours to begin with. And when we chase goals that aren't aligned with our priorities, energy, or lifestyle, we end up feeling drained, frustrated, and like we're not enough. We're chasing the person we think we should be instead of the person who we actually are. I have definitely fallen into this trap myself. I've always loved exercising. It boosts my endorphins, lowers stress, and makes me feel accomplished. Over the years, I have tried it all. But when we moved to New York, something shifted. I live really close to Central Park, and every morning I would see the runners flying past me as I walked, day after day. And before long, I started thinking, maybe I should be running too. But I hadn't been a runner in over a decade. And I knew that walking had plenty of health benefits by itself. But that repeated exposure is powerful. Seeing all those runners made me feel like that was the real goal. So I committed. At first, it was fine, 2 miles here and there. But then my goals got bigger. 2 miles was not enough. It had to be 4. Then I started wondering if I should sign up for a 10K because my pace wasn't fast enough. I'd beat myself up, even though in reality, it was totally fine. And here's what happened. Every day I was supposed to run, I felt this heavy weight of anxiety inside me. I'd worry that I wouldn't hit the distance I planned, and that would mean I'd failed. No one else in the park would know, but I would. The internal pressure got so intense that eventually I just stopped running altogether. After taking some time off, I asked myself, why did I even want to run in the first place? The truth was, out of all the exercise that I did, running gave me the biggest boost of endorphins, helped my anxiety the most, and made me feel the most proud of myself. It improved my cardiovascular health, and it also gave me time outside. Those were my real reasons. So I decided to try something different, a run walk plan, intervals. This isn't anything new, it's a method that lots of runners use. But this time, I gave myself permission to make it mine. And guess what? The anxiety around running disappeared. Just knowing that I would have scheduled walking intervals completely changed my mindset. Now I still get all the benefits, but I actually enjoy it again. And even though this was a small shift in my exercise plan, it was a big shift in realizing that I need to set goals that stay true to me. This was my wake up call that sometimes we set goals that look good on the outside, but don't feel good on the inside. Now that I've shared my example, it's your turn to step back and evaluate your own goals. Are they working for you or against you? Here are a few signs for you to watch for. First, do you feel chronic stress or burnout when working towards this goal? Maybe you're pushing yourself so hard that you barely have energy for anything else. That's an immediate red flag. Second, do you find yourself constantly procrastinating or lacking motivation around goal related tasks? That hesitation is not laziness. It's your mind quietly signaling that something about this goal isn't right. Third, do you feel like you're never enough no matter what you accomplish? You hit milestones, you check boxes, but satisfaction never comes. And finally, does this goal bring up guilt, shame, or anxiety instead of excitement, growth, or joy? If the thought of working toward it leaves you tense or afraid of failure, it's a sign it's not truly serving you. If any of these resonate, that's your cue to pause and reflect. Reflection is powerful. Reflection is where the real work and the real clarity begins. Ask yourself these questions. Why did I choose this goal in the first place? Does this goal actually align with my values and life that I want to live? Am I chasing this goal because it excites me or because I feel like I should? Is this goal energizing me or is it draining me? Am I willing to prioritize this goal without sacrificing what matters most? Is this goal flexible enough to grow with me? Or is it forcing me into a mold that does not fit? These simple questions encourage self awareness, the first step to reclaiming goals that support your life rather than undermine it. When your goals align with who you truly are and what truly matters, they don't just feel doable, they feel right. They inspire you and they move you forward without anxiety, guilt, or burnout. Now that you've reflected on whether your goals are working for you or against you, let's talk about how to realign them and make sure they actually serve you. Here's the action plan to make your goals work for you. Step number 1, audit your goals. Review your current goals and notice which ones feel heavy, stressful, or out of alignment. The key part, really think about why you set each goal. Be honest with yourself. Why is this something that you want to have happen in your life? This isn't about judgment, it's about understanding your motivations and seeing what's actually working. Step two, check in with what matters most. Pause and think about what really matters to you. Is it your health, your relationships, your creativity, or simply peace of mind? The goal is to identify what brings energy, satisfaction, and fulfillment. When your goals naturally fit your life, they energize you instead of drain you. Take a moment to picture the life you want. Which goals feel right in that picture? And which ones feel out of place? That clarity is everything. Number three, adjust or replace your goals. Once you've identified goals that aren't aligned, ask, can I tweak this goal or should I replace it entirely? For example, maybe you decided to take up tennis because all your friends were playing. But instead of energizing you, practice feels stressful. Instead of forcing it, you could just play once a week for fun, or you could switch to a totally different activity that genuinely excites you, like yoga or swimming. You're still staying active, but in a way that feels rewarding and sustainable. It's better to focus on fewer goals that actually fit your life than chase a long list of things that can zap your energy. And step four, break goals into micro goals. Big goals can feel overwhelming, so break them into small, manageable steps. For example, if your goal is to declutter your home, start with one drawer today, one closet this week, or one room per month. Each small win gives you a sense of progress and keeps you motivated. Over time, these tiny steps add up to big results without stress or overwhelm. Micro goals make progress feel natural, sustainable, and even enjoyable. They let small wins carry you to the finish line. By auditing your goals, checking in on what matters most, adjusting or replacing what doesn't fit, and breaking your goals into micro steps, you'll get clear on what you truly want and set yourself up for success in a way that feels doable and energizing. So now it's your turn. Take a moment this week to reflect and look at your goals. Think about which ones are serving you and which ones might be working against you. Here's my challenge to you: pick one goal today and make a small adjustment that aligns it more closely with what you actually want. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear which goal you're reclaiming and how you're going to make it work for you. And if you want more practical tips like this, simple habits, mindset shifts, and tools that actually fit real life, hit subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday. Thanks so much for tuning in and leveling up. Remember, your goals should energize you and inspire you, not drain you. Start small, stay true to yourself, and watch how much more fulfilling the journey can be. I'll see you next time.